And hello there, guys. Welcome to another fun episode of PokeProfessionals. We have us with the very fun and very cool Connor and Becca. Go ahead and introduce you guys.
Hey there. Name's Connor. I am the lead, the GM for Dicefunctional, the main one. I'm responsible for map creation, running the games, creating tokens, basically anything and everything in those games. I also do a lot of streaming in the background just for video games and what have you.
I'm Becca. I do probably 90% of the art that you see on the channel. And I also help run things. I host our weekly D&D stream. So.
And Becca was ever so nice to do what is going to be the first for the channel of us having an actual drawing of what their trainers are going to look like. So you're getting a little preview of what they're going to be over on the right. We did discuss ideas. I think it came out pretty good, but you get to see how awesome it looks when it comes out. You probably have a couple of guesses on what their trainers are going to be like with this one. But so we're going to start off with Connor's character. What kind of character would you want to be in a Pokemon campaign, as my voice is now disembodied and it's only you two on screen?
So my thought would be I'd probably want to be some kind of a beach bum. Granted, I don't think that's going to be like a class or anything like that. So something beach related, and definitely an ice type trainer.
So cool thing in the book is there is one class that's kind of like dedicated to being like an athlete. And I feel like beach bum is kind of just like, let's go ride the waves and just be like, chill, bro. So I think that's what we're going to go with. They did make a class called hiker in like one of the later expansions, but that one isn't quite the right vibe.
No.
I've been kind of sticking to like the official core book anyways for these. Just for those that are new to this one, we've been putting out a couple of these videos by the time this one comes out. The way this works is we're going to be building them a level 1 starter character. I'm going to be having everybody's Pokemon be level 10 just so we get some fun, neat abilities. And as need be, we might throw in like a TM or an HM if it's really required to make their character work. But that one's just assuming they spent money. But on that note, I'm going to start working on building you a fun character with that little bit of purview on that. But the first thing we need to ask is, what is your starter?
Oh, I'd go with an Alolan Vulpix.
I had a feeling we already saw the picture on that one.
You already saw the picture on that, but like foxes are my favorite animal. Ice is the most fitting. Alolan Vulpix would be the best match for that.
Alolan Vulpix is adorable.
It is.
We're gonna start on that one.
It has curly hair like you.
Aw, is that another reason for it?
No, but I like
no.
it.
She's just being nice.
Fair. We can say fair on that one. So while I'm getting that started, you guys are no stranger to streamed content of any kind. Why don't you give us a little bit of a purview on what you guys actually do in the space?
I mean, as far as TTRPG is concerned, I mean, we had a campaign before this one that went for about 3 years, and this one is going on basically its third year. So we've been doing streams and recorded VODs for Dicefunctional for a grand total of about 6 years total now, coming up on our 7th.
The exact I went and found when our very, very first session was posted. It's back in September of 2018. So that's how long we've been doing it.
That is a while back. You guys have been going at it for now.
Yeah.
Oh God, was that the start of COVID? I can't remember.
No, it was
about a year before.
It was a year before.
You guys got a jump start on it.
Yeah, we got a jump start. Well, granted, also we've unfortunately been really bad about promoting ourselves, and Twitter was not fun to deal with at that time.
I mean, I feel that
on Twitter, and yeah,
there's a reason I abandoned Twitter.
No, I haven't touched Twitter in years at this point.
Yeah,
but now we have over 1,000 followers on Blue Sky, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's fun.
Blue Sky has been a very nice and helpful thing for me. I think I just cracked 3,100 the other day.
You did,
which
was I know.
Nice.
I noticed that you cracked that number, man.
Now, if only I could get a third of those people to come over to YouTube, I'd be set.
Right. Yeah.
If you guys are watching this and you aren't subscribed yet to my channel, please do. It really does help us out. I know you get tired of people saying that shit, but it really does help.
I mean, fascinatingly enough, even as tiring as hearing, hey, like and subscribe to the video can be, being reminded to like and subscribe to the video does statistically actually have a slight effect.
I know.
In getting people to do so.
I know. It gets annoying to do so because I always feel like with this channel, I always try to do the stuff that I avoid and hate seeing, or I avoid the things I hate seeing in other channels. So typically you're never going to hear me just pulling out like an air horn and screaming because I find that annoying. Like, I started doing skits because everybody told me I had to do skits at the beginning, and I just hated doing it. So it's like, okay, I'm stopping this now.
Yeah.
I want to make a show that I would enjoy watching, essentially, is what I'm aiming for.
That's honestly been like the aim for what we've been doing the entire time. Is we upload and stream this stuff because at the end of the day, if someone is going to enjoy watching us play a game, whether it is D&D or moving to Tales of the Valiant with the next campaign or playing video games together, then why not? You know, if someone's going to enjoy it, why not? I'll put it out there. It's not a huge deal in my mind.
It makes sense.
I think your dedication to, staying true to what you believe would be entertaining and what you would enjoy watching is also admirable, and you should see more of, I would hope, but we'll see.
Well, the way I like to think of it is I would rather fail honorably than win dishonorably. In this case, I would rather enjoy my success because people like what I had to say instead of just trying to be the next Eon,
Mr. Beast,
whatever that Mr. Beast. Oh God, don't get me started.
Mr. Beast, and I mean that as a compliment.
I mean, no, I actually know how to genuinely smile without looking like a creeper. And
he looks all of his thumbnail screenshots. He looks like a psychopath. He looks like he's ready to kill someone.
I think he specifically had to change the way he smiled because one person complained about it or something. But we're not getting into that. We're not giving that guy extra time. We're not doing that. So we're going to come back to this. Before I start working on your actual trainer, I want to go a little bit over what I did with your Pokemon, which unfortunately they can't see, but they will hopefully be watching this when it comes out, and they'll get to see it. So you have an Alolan Vulpix at level 10, and I maxed that sucker out. There's a cool thing in this game called Mixed Sweeper, where if you put up to like certain amount of points in attack and special attack, you get extra points for other stats. So I abused that because Alolan Vulpix can be a Mixed Sweeper, and I thought you might want to do that. On that note, though, what do you want to name your Vulpix?
Name these things.
We get to name them. You're on call now.
Let's see. I have him in the cooler because it's the best spot for him and he keeps drinks cold.
That's such a peach bomb idea.
Yeah, I could either call him like Soda Pop or I could call him something like...
You can call him Cola.
I could call him Cola.
Light.
Miller Light. His name's...
Yo, this is my Vulpix PBR.
Call him Pabst.
Yeah, Pabst.
Honestly, Miller sounds funny. I actually like the idea of you calling him Miller.
Miller's hilarious. We'll call him Miller.
Your Vulpix Miller.
Yeah, my Vulpix Miller, which is hilarious because I hate beer.
I'm assuming you want this to be a male Vulpix then, so we're gonna have it a male Vulpix called Miller. I love it.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Typically, I stick away from the errata content in these games just because I don't want people to have to go digging through errata. I made an exception for this one. So your Vulpix's ability is Snow Cloak, the errata version, where it gets a +1 to all its evasions, but that becomes a +2 when it's in hail.
Ooh.
So it gives you a little extra incentive to use the snow condition. We're going to pop over to your trainer now. So I think you said you wanted to be an ice-type trainer and a beach bum, so we're going to work with that. But while we're discussing this, I'm actually curious to hear a little bit from Becca on this one. So you're the channel's artist, correct?
Yeah.
Do you have any fun things you want to talk about of that for a bit?
I mean, I can...
there is plenty you can talk about.
Well, I think the big thing I want to ask is, with the power that comes with being an actual artist that knows how to pick up a pencil, what is some of the fun things you've gotten to do for the channel that you've just been like, with that little impish, like, delight, I should say?
I mean, as an artist, I've always really liked designing characters. So it's been a real joy to help like visualize all the NPCs and player characters, and we have a couple artists in the group, so they tend to design their own characters, or they'll sometimes help someone else design their characters, but like I will also, the ones who aren't artists will give me like text descriptions or like Pinterest boards. and I'll go back and forth on basically like a commission and like help bring their character to life, and that's really fun. And doing the thumbnails as well for our YouTube sessions. Sometimes I get to do stuff that's sort of out of my wheelhouse, or I try a new brush. So it's a little bit of a sandbox, like a playground for me.
I will say at the end of campaign 1, you did a very good piece of artwork for the thumbnail for the main big bad of the game.
Yeah, it's still in the background of my work computer.
It's one of the backgrounds my computer cycles through, and it was very much an experiment from your typical style.
In that case, you guys will have to send me that, and I'll just have it pop up right here on the screen so it can be appreciated with all of its glory. Remind me after this to get that from y'all. So I hate putting you on the spot, and I know this one's a hot topic issue, but how do you think you've been handling a lot of the like struggles that it comes with being an artist in TTRPGs these days lately? I mean, it's not been pleasant for a lot of folks, but I'm imagining it's been tough on you as well.
I largely do it out of the love for the craft and for my friends. So like, if my stuff gets attention, that's great, but like it is very fulfilling for me to be like, hey friends, look at this, and they go fruit or something at the like, NPC that I just drew.
I need to point out a good chunk of our group are queer in some way. I am bisexual. Becca is asexual.
Most of us are, well, not most, all of us are queer in some flavor, but
yeah.
But like, so we have fun basically.
You gotta have
like
fun
it
with
is
it.
definitely frustrating to see like other folks like using AI art and stuff, because it's just like, man, like you have so many options and you're using the environmental plague copyright machine.
I mean, yeah. I mean, look at me. I don't know how to draw worth a lick, but I can go up and photo manipulate some stuff from free assets available to everybody with no royalties needed and make stuff that's fun. You don't need to know how to draw to make art. You just need to actually try.
I'll just briefly just kind of pop in here. I am not a super talented digital artist. I stepped away from doing hand drawing because I didn't see the results I liked. So I picked up Blender, which is a 3D modeling program. I like that quite a bit, but like anybody can learn to make art. The idea of AI being the crutch, which it isn't, is just, it's absurd. I hate AI usage, and I really do think that folks just need to learn to walk away from it and recognize that it's not going to give you anything useful.
There's also something so valuable that can't be replaced by anything, of making something with your own hands and like seeing the progress and seeing the result and being proud of the result. Like, and it can take any form. Like I've seen people like crochet their parties like characters,
which sounds so much cooler than anything you could make just by clicking a button or writing a prompt or anything like that. Like, that's cool. Art comes from experience and from our own histories, I like to think. I feel bad that I took you on a tangent. I didn't mean to. I don't get enough artists on this channel, and I wanted to like get an actual artist's opinion on that one. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. But no, it's just, I hate how much it's become just a thing of, how can I easily steal the talent and efforts of others? It just reminds me of that scene of Dark Crystal where there's that poor dude in the chair and he's just getting the light and energy drained out of him.
Just drained out of his body?
It's what I think about all the time. And it just feels a little cringe. Sorry, you got me in the middle of a water drinking thing there.
No, it's okay. And also, you don't need to worry about pulling us on a tangent for something like that. It's an important conversation to have, especially in TTRPGs. Because a lot of folks, especially folks who are not as involved in the space as like you and I tend to be when we're on Blue Sky and talking in threads, they see it like a toy, you know? Oh, it will give me something to have for a character. Oh, it will let me put something up for my YouTube video. But like that is severely cheapening the enjoyment that one can get by creating something yourself.
And it's also just in the aspect of it's not a toy, it's actually a weapon. And you've basically just handed somebody a very destructive weapon that not only hits the body, but hits the soul in a way, in my mind. It's like we've been seeing a lot of folks these days who just believe the first thing that ChatGPT throws up in front of their face.
Yeah. There are many reasons to hate generative AI, and I could go on for
we absolutely
hours.
Could. I got one little side story I'll say before we go back to keeping on the fun topic of Pokemon trainers and your guys' amazing work. But I work in a friendly local game shop. If you guys follow me on Blue Sky, you'll hear these. I had the story I shared a bit about. Somebody came in from college. They were doing a project about comics and either mental health or different struggles that somebody might experience from that. And they pulled up a ChatGPT screenshot saying that they recommended these comics about different struggles that somebody might face. And not a single one of the comics it mentioned either existed or actually mentioned mental health in any way. Like, it didn't even say, like, Killing Joke or something that was just the basic grape you could grab off the vine. And I was just so frustrated because there's only so many times I could say, that doesn't actually exist. If you'd like an actual recommendation, I can help you, or actually grab somebody that's an expert in comics. But ChatGPT says, and in my head I'm screaming, if you say fucking ChatGPT one more time, I'm going to spike that phone.
Yeah, like, not to sound like a Luddite, but it's literally crippling critical thinking.
Well, the thing that bugged me the most is just, and not to interrupt you, I apologize. She came from college. She was a college student. Did you not check your references before you came to a shop?
They don't anymore.
They don't anymore. But we're not going to keep going on that. What we are going to go into is how epic Connor's character is now. Because I've dug through some stuff, and I actually did something different with this one. Typically, when I make characters for this channel, I like to make them pretty balanced, so I do 2 things from both classes. I kind of went almost all in on Ice-type trainer with you, because I figured that'd be more your vibe. Plus, also, I just love the idea of Miller being the most dangerous ice Pokemon possible.
The most dangerous Vulpix you could ever see.
Hey, you guys want a cool one? You just lift the lid and Vulpix comes out. So
I don't need a Pokeball.
I think your Pokemon has a Pokeball, but it's not seen the inside of it since like the day you caught it.
It's like a Pikachu.
It's like a Pikachu.
Like Ash's Pikachu. He's just hanging out.
Oh god, don't get me. I still remember the day they actually made Pikachu talk, and I was like, oh my god.
Pikachu, why won't you get in your Pokeball?
It's because I always want to be with you.
But we're gonna.
Wasn't that a movie? Like a little movie or a short they did?
I think it was a movie because Pikachu like got a voice for a split second, but we're not doing that right now.
Oh my god!
I'd want to put up a video of it, and Pokemon would definitely copyright me if I put it up on the screen.
They will.
They've been chill about a lot of stuff, but that one not so much. But we will talk about your cool features. So you have Type Ace, which automatically lets you choose to either give Elemental Connection. Sorry, not Elemental Connection. You can either choose 2 different skills for your Vulpix. I figured that you'd probably want to have... One second. There's a thing called Type Strategist, where if you use an Ice-type move, you gain damage reduction. So I figured that'd be very on par. Ice-type does need a little extra help. They're a little susceptible.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. So that's why we kind of went in there. You also got 2 other things from the Ice-type expert class, which is Polar Vortex, which is an order you can give. While you have this order going, your Pokemon and all of its moves are always treated like you have Hail Up.
Which would be very effective considering the Vulpix's ability that you gave it from the errata.
So either if you want to have it use the move that puts up Hail, or if you just want to give you the order, it's 2 options for you to just get Hail going. Though the order option does not create damage to other people, it just treats the Pokemon like it had it up. Downsides, but hey, it's a thing. You also gain a cool ability that's just static called Glacial Ice, which is your Ice-type Pokemon gain damage reduction equal to your Type Link skill, which in this case is going to be Athletics, for anything that would be super effective. So it resists Fire, Fighting, Rock, and Steel-type moves by your rank. So that's very helpful because, again, Ice-type, really cool class. It just needs a little help on that because it takes damage from a lot of things.
Yep.
For your beach bum, though, you are one of those guys who's never worked out a day in his life, but are still just fit and jacked. So the way athlete works is it's one of those classes where you actually gain a stat by taking the class. So every time you take a thing in athlete, you gain HP. And your current thing is basically you get to pick 2 stats of yours that you can just have a combat stage permanently boosted on it. 2 of them. So we'll have that happen at the end. I also snagged your edges for you. So you had to take Elemental Connection to have the ice type thing, downgrade to being a level 1 trainer. But I gave you Athletic Initiative, which lets you learn the move Agility. Again, never worked out a day in his life, but just fast. Just fast, bro. You also have Swimmer, which means you now have a increased swim speed, and you can stay underwater up to your athletic skill minutes, which is very good. And then the final thing is I gave you a boosted intuition skill because I felt like a beach bum needed a good vibe check.
Yeah. Okay, all that tracks.
All that tracks.
So all that works.
We have 3 things left we need to do with you. So first things first, what do you want to be bad at?
I don't think the occult is necessary for him. I don't think that's going to be a thing that he needs to care about.
Mystery Mouse Cthulhu for later. Somebody else is good at occult in this grouping.
Exactly. I think if he's largely on beaches, like it's probably going to be near a town or a city.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really need to scavenge or survive for himself. He's literally near a town.
I'm pretty sure you just use your Pokemon to like make ice cones or something, and that's your business.
Yeah, like I don't think he would have to see a single night outside of the beach ever. So I don't think it's a concern.
Yeah.
What's another one? It's probably not medicine.
Medicine? Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, medicine's probably not a thing you're worried all that much. You're very fit.
Well, it's again not the thing he is most concerned with at that moment in time.
So we have the second to last thing is gonna be denoting your stats. The stats are HP, attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and speed. You have 10 points to drop, and you can put up to 5 max in one stat. So you can maximize and put 5 in 2 stats, or split it around.
Gotcha.
You also get to pick 2 stats that you get to bump up a combat stage too, so don't forget that.
Gotcha. So it was HP, attack, defense, speed. What were the other 2?
Special attack and special defense.
Special attack and special defense. Okay. Ice type moves, those tend to go with special attack in some cases, right?
For the most part, yeah. So if you're making yourself feel bolstered by ice moves, that'd be the thing to go.
Yeah. I would say 2 into special attack, 2 into regular attack.
Be aware that you won't be using special attack for your attacks.
Oh, fair enough.
Athlete uses physical attack.
Okay, in that case, no. Just 3 into regular attack, 2 into HP.
Gotcha. 2
into defense.
2 in defense. You're the first person to actually split their stats, so this is also very exciting.
Anytime I do stats or anything, I have to split it.
You have 3 stats left. I would honestly recommend speed.
Yeah, I think 3 speed. There's no point in special defense for me.
Alrighty.
Or special anything for me.
So if we swap over to your combat, which combat stages do you want to have boosted? You get to pick 2. You cannot pick HP, so it's attack, defense, special defense, and speed. I would recommend speed.
Yeah, speed and attack would be the smartest.
So the cool thing is that means that your stats are going to be bumped to 9, which means next level up, you've put some stats into stuff, you can make your speed 10 from those.
Gotcha.
So there's one thing left for doing your trainer. What is your trainer's name?
Oh, Beach Bum Connor.
Beach Bum Connor. Not even a second thought. Just bam.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's Beach Bum Connor. That's my name. He's a beach bum. There you go.
You have to say the whole thing.
Well, the funny thing is the name slot is a little small, but the thing right next to Beach Bum is played by, so I can just put Connor in there and it works.
There you go.
Beach Bum.
Beach Bum Connor. Conner, I believe is how that is spelled.
Conor.
O-R, goodness sake.
Close.
My bad. I apologize.
I'm used to it. People have been getting my name wrong since I was in elementary school. I'm used to it.
Well, the funny thing is one of my coworkers' names is very similar to yours, and they spell theirs with a K, and I was like, shit.
That's a new one.
That's a new one for me, too.
I've never heard a Connor spelled with a K.
So on that note, we're going to swap to watching somebody draw some gorgeous art over here for a smidge. And while we're doing that, I think it's time for another question. This time I'm going to aim one over at Becca again, just because you're going to be my new target. So you do the art, but you also participate in the shows as well, correct?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
between you and Connor, who do you think is your favorite character of the others? And which show is it from so people want to go and check out that show? So, Becca, what's your favorite character of Connor? And Connor, what's your favorite character that Becca ran? As I try to point the right directions on my screen.
So basically, like one of his NPCs. I gonna be simple. I really liked Avero from the first campaign. He was our party's boss. And I believe he was repurposed from one of Connor's like old characters. Like
It was one of the very few times I actually played in a game, and I just used him because I was like, okay, this works.
Yeah, but
Sometimes repurposed works out well.
It does, yeah.
we had fun with him.
I mean, to be honest, Becca's current character is an elderly woman by the name of Granny Gunslinger, or at least that's what she calls herself.
Granny Gunslinger.
And for one, it's an entertaining character idea, but two, it's also a well done character that does have some thought behind who they are, why they're here, and some of their problems. As despite being a gunslinger, she is hemophobic. She is scared of blood.
I love it when people use actual flaws that make things difficult in the game they're playing. I don't know if you guys have ever played any World of Darkness games, but taking what I've learned from playing World of Darkness, where like actual detriments are interesting, and going into other games where it's like, oh, my character is afraid of heights, and then that's something that's never going to.
It does nothing.
It does nothing.
Yeah.
Half the time, it's a
That's
narrative
something
thing, and they don't ever use it. Sorry,
That's
Becca.
something we like basically codified with campaign 2 was we actually have a flaw in trait, I think is what the other one was called.
I lifted it wholesale from Pathfinder because that's what I started with. When I first started GMing, I was a Pathfinder GM, and Pathfinder has traits and flaws, and it is an excellent system for people to implement into a game, especially 5e, which is really lacking in that kind of flavor. It gives you the ability to go, okay, hey, look, let's give your character a real flaw that has a real effect in game. And then by having that, then they can then take it and also give themselves a trait, something positive that makes them better. It just helps them get more attached to the character.
It's something I really did. I think personally, having started playing in Mage, which is one of the it's not the least known World of Darkness game, but it's definitely one of the ones that's not as popular. We all know which one's the most popular. But
yeah,
it definitely helped set me up as a GM who, one, really wanted consequences to actions, both positive and negative. It definitely incentivizes you in that game to be like, think about what you're doing and be clever about it. Because if you just go straight at it, it's like, cool, now the universe is going to bounce you right back. But also just World of Darkness in general, ignoring all of its numerous flaws and its many issues from White Wolf, we're not getting into that, problematic past and all that. I will say they did a very good job of like incorporating you wanting to have detriments to your character so you could also have benefits. It's one of those things I really appreciate. Granted, they need to be better about mental health and how they phrased certain things, but we're, again, not getting into that. That's the problem that's based on
that's different.
That's all sorts of games.
Yeah.
So, since we've already been picking on Becca for a little bit, we're going to start by making Becca's character, which I'm very excited about because you had a really cool idea for yours. So, again, peeking behind the curtain, everybody, we kind of discussed what the characters are going to be ahead of time just to make it a little easier on me. It's a big book, guys. It's a big book. On that note, what kind of character would you want to be?
I admittedly kind of made it to match Connor a little bit, but largely I wanted to embrace the goth girl I always wanted to be, but on the beach.
We love us a goth girl queen. Come on. Who didn't start off looking at Raven from Teen Titans and be like, okay, I'm a type?
She was my girl.
She
I'm
was our
sorry.
girl.
But yeah, so I started and a lot of my favorite Pokemon are actually ghost types.
Alrighty. I
so-
think type Ace Ghost is what you're leaning toward there then.
Yeah.
A lot of people go for like type aces in this show, and I cannot fault them. It's fun to lean into. And is there anything else that you want to kind of fill out on that, like style wise? Like what's the niche you want to fill in a group?
Definitely a little bit more like supporty. Like I want to be like my trainer will be like on the back line and you know.
I think I got an idea. There's a class we haven't used yet, and it's called Mentor. And the really cool thing about Mentor is basically all their stuff happens before a fight even starts. Your job is like teaching skills, changing out how Pokemon's like. So the way it typically works in these is I let you guys kit your starter out whichever way you want. It's your starter. You got to be happy with your starter. But when you catch Pokemon, their natures and all that can be random. Mentor can change natures on Pokemon. They can either make it so it's a different nature that bumps the same stat up or bumps the same stat down. So you can change whichever. It's very versatile. I think I'm going to use Mentor for you. I think that'd be fun. While I'm filling that out, I think I'm going to pick on Connor a bit now. So obviously you said you started off as a Pathfinder GM. What other skills do you think you've transferred to other systems you've played in using those skills? And if you can, reference back to the shows you're currently running. Promote some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, just from Pathfinder, honestly, improv and learning to get really quick on the uptake when it comes to what people are doing. I had to be able to look at other things, figure out where I needed to make the adjustment, where I needed to balance things out. Pathfinder is a tougher system for a first-time GM, I would say. Yeah. I would not recommend it for most people. I really probably shouldn't have started off with that. I
mean, I started off with Mage, and that's like throwing somebody in the deep end.
That's throwing someone to the deep end. But like at the same time, it did mean I had to get a good grasp on what a character, a challenge rating meant, and B, when that challenge rating was just straight up wrong, and when I needed to do something else.
Yeah.
Because that is in the case of D&D, a really well-known issue. Granted, I've then moved on to other games and other systems that don't have that problem. Tales of the Valiant is better with it, and Call of Cthulhu, which is another system I love, is much more simple with how things are played.
Not to rag on D&D or anything, it does not help that they decided to internally change how they were calculating things and then never updated
and then never said it.
Yeah, it's like, but we're not here to dogpile on systems. Everybody's allowed to enjoy the things they like. We're only here to talk about the things we enjoy. That is what my channel's about, because you know what? I don't care about getting clicks for negativity. My goal is to get people to talk about the things they love instead. Even if it doesn't work as well, and I know it doesn't, but we're not getting into that.
Sadly, no, it doesn't.
It does not. Oh, trust me. I tested this on Blue Sky. Another side tangent rant. We're going to do this. I made 2 similar posts, one after the other. One asking what was a positive thing about a game that liked, or a negative thing, and then later on I was like, okay guys, I'm doing a test. What are some positive things? And the positive one got like, I think less than a third of the interactions on it. And I was like, you guys are proving my point.
Yep. It's unfortunate, but people react to negativity.
You know what? I just realized I'd sped ahead of things, but I forgot to ask Becca, what's your starter, Becca?
My starter.
What's your starter?
Dreepy.
You want a Dreepy?
I want a Dreepy.
Any particular reason you really want a Dreepy?
Well, as I said, Ghost Pokemon Trainer. And I was going to start with a Sableye, who's one of my top favorite Pokemon. But I was like, well, I gotta have a dragon type. Like, I know there's a ghost dragon. Dragon's on my brand.
Everybody's gotta have a dragon. Funny thing is, in the video game, Sableye is actually not that great, except for using Trickster.
No, he's terrible.
He's terrible. But the thing is, what I really like, what I really like about PTU is though they did actually do a decent job of making most Pokemon fairly viable. Like, obviously, there's going to be some discrepancies. If you grab a pseudo-legendary, they're going to be good. They just take a while to come online. For example, your Dreepy doesn't get any extra moves until it gets to level 20.
Yeah.
But
He sucks until he evolves, but I love him anyway.
it's the slow burn. You have to work your way to it. But I like that they made most of them pretty good. There are a few that didn't get the good luck. Diglett is one that we like to make fun of in this game. It has 1 HP as its stat. It doesn't have 1 HP. Its stat is 1 HP in like the stat array.
That's still awful.
It's still awful. If you use the way this game works is whatever your highest stat has to remain your highest stat even after you allot points, and whatever your lowest stat has to stay your lowest. So it's very hard to add HP to Diglett.
Well,
on that note,
it
though,
it does hide in the ground.
It does hide in the ground. On that note, though, your Dreepy is going to be pretty fun. I'm going to make him a fun Dreepy. But I forgot to ask that, and I didn't mean to interrupt Connor on this one. But so you've mentioned games like Call of Cthulhu, Pathfinder, stuff like that. You were also talking about Tales of the Valiant. You're currently running, I think, 3 different shows right now on your channel. Dicefunctional, please check them out, guys. We're going to have a link down below in the comments, or the description, I should say. But is it 3 channels, or are you doing any more or 3 shows, or any more right now?
So it's not necessarily 3 shows, but it's more like we have the actual streamed game, which is always on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Then come like the actual weekdays. I kind of play it by ear a little bit more, but right now we're playing through Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 2, which is a game that was very nostalgic for me because that's what I played when I was growing up.
As soon as I saw you playing that, I desperately wanted to play it again.
Hey, you can get on Steam. The entire Ty series is up on Steam right now. You can buy it.
Who wants to send me money so I can get Ty?
And then on Mondays, it's Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, which I've never played actually.
Mm-hmm. Really?
I love that's nostalgic for me and some of the other folks in our group.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm gonna probably get lit up in the comments on this one. I didn't really play a lot of the popular ones from like the last time I played Link was the one that was on like the DS, the one with the hourglass. That was the last one I ever played, and I think it was also the first one I ever played. I played the one with the boat. Oh wait, no, that was the same one. And I'm not a Super Mario guy, and I tried playing Sonic, and I don't think I got past level 2 as a kid.
I mean, that's fair. Sonic the Hedgehog was my game series when I was a kid. That was the one that I played a lot of.
I just could not figure out how you're supposed to get out of that toxic plant. I drowned every time.
Chemical plant zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that one's a pain in the butt in Sonic 2.
It's like the second level.
Yeah, it is the second level. But when you're young, it's complicated. Yeah, I mean, well, right now I'm basically going through all the nostalgic games like Spyro we played. Legend of Zelda is being played right now. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. I played all of Sonic Adventure 2 and 1, which again were 2 very nostalgic games for me. It's just having fun and hanging out with folks. It's just an enjoyable experience.
That it is.
And our Friday streams, if we do them, we try to make them either kind of like a group game, like a party game, or sometimes I will do like an art stream and we'll just like hang out and chat and watch me draw.
One of these days I won't be working a Friday and you guys will have to enjoy me to play Jack in the Box or something.
One day.
I'm one of those lame people whose job makes them work every weekend.
I tried to ask, I was like, hey man, you want to play Repo with us one day? And then we were like, oh wait, no, you're working when we're streaming. Never mind, this doesn't work at all, does it?
Well, not to dox my work schedule, but most weekends I work from like noon to 8 or 10. So it's like, cool. Does not work for anybody's fun time.
There goes all the afternoon.
All the afternoon. Not to do a quick switch from that, but we're going to quick switch going back to Becca's Dreepy here. So I have made you the speediest, most adamantest boy possible. Your Dreepy has 15 speed and 15 attack. They hit hard.
That glass cannon.
Very much a glass cannon. They have 35 HP.
I love glass cannons. The only thing I'm concerned with is turning your HP stat to 0 as fast as possible.
Well, the cool thing is you do have one move that really works for that. You have a move called Astonish, where it'll flinch the target on a 15, and once per scene, if the target is not aware of your Dreepy's presence, Astonish automatically flinches. So it really sets you up to want to be sneak attacking people. Fun thing, ghost Pokemon in this game can turn invisible.
Ooh.
So that's a little mechanic you might want to check out. It's very fun to work with. On that note, though, they also got the ability Cursed Body. So once per scene, if they get hit by a damaging move, they can choose to disable that move for the opponent. Disable means they can no longer use that move. So even if your Dreepy does go down, you can be like, nah, I'm not dealing, my friend's not dealing with that no more. So on that note, though, what you gonna name your Dreepy? That smile is giving me concerns.
You get used to it.
I sometimes take a very long time to come up with names.
Well, if you want, we can come back to it.
No, because I came up with something, but it's so stupid.
Stupid. We love for stupid. We live for stupid.
I named my Vulpix Miller.
I'm gonna name him Booger.
Booger?
He's like Booger, but it's Boo.
Booger. Booger.
And he's a ghost.
Oh my god. You know what? I'm spelling this with B-O-O, then a little line.
Like
and
a
then
hyphen.
Yeah. It's Booger.
Yeah, Booger.
Oh boy. Oh boy. We're in it now, guys. We're in it now. Alrighty. So on that note, I'm going to finish filling out the rest of your stuff. There's some cool things you're going to be doing to your Pokemon in just a second here. But on that note, I do kind of want to ask you guys, you said that you're going to be going into Tales of the Valiant. You guys are switching systems, essentially. Obviously, yep. I can assume why you switched systems on that point. But what do you feel is like a really good reason that you picked Tales of the Valiant as what you're going into for the upcoming streams? What was its strong points that you really pulled toward?
So, to be honest, like there was a lot of familiarity that the other players had with D&D, and they were a little cautious about stuff like Pathfinder 2e, which I was interested in. But once I did a lot of looking into Tales of the Valiant, I basically found that all of those problems that existed in D&D 5e, because unfortunately, I do have to point out that there were a lot of problems with it.
Oh, you don't have to tell me twice. I ran public games with it for like a year plus. It has its issues.
Almost all of them are just remedied in Tales of the Valiant. Classes have been set up in a way that it incentivizes that if you're going to multiclass, you will not like lose out by multiclassing as long as you do it in segments of 4, because your subclass stuff is appearing right before you get an ability score improvement. The class issues that existed in 5e don't exist in Tales of the Valiant because they've been corrected. So all this stuff that was a headache before and required a lot of homebrew doesn't exist anymore. I don't need to worry about it. But also, challenge ratings in that game are very, very well handled.
It sounds like they definitely... I've seen bits and bobs, and you're definitely going to have to talk to me more about this when we're not on stream, but I have seen that they've done a decent job of like making it clear, which is nice. Yep. One of the hardest parts about being a GM in any game is just the initial like learning curve, which puts a lot of people off.
Yeah, trying to figure out what the heck this all means, where you stand with it. That is easily the biggest headache for anybody starting to GM, and I wouldn't blame folks for being intimidated by it because it is a headache.
It absolutely is.
And you mentioned like learning curve, and from a player's perspective, like learning curve is something that we considered heavily because we knew we wanted to move away from D&D, but a lot of us were only really familiar with D&D 5e.
Yeah.
So and a couple other like, you know, Powered by the Apocalypse stuff, but those are a lot more rules light, so they're, you know, easier to pick up. So we really needed something that was similar to D&D, but, you know, not too different so that people could feel comfortable picking it up.
Makes sense. I've been working on trying to get a game using PTU off the ground, and it's very much one of those things where I had to make it kind of clear that if I do run a game like that, you're gonna have to try to teach the players as they watch, because most folks, while they are there for a story, they also want to feel like they know what's going on, which is why I tend to not like actual plays where they just play loosey-goosey with the rules. It's like, cool, that's not how any of this works.
Yeah. It's one of those unique things about APs where unfortunately there is an issue of at what point are you playing the game and at what point are you just telling a story with dice? Yeah. Like, and
I like to call it the Calvin ball problem.
Yeah.
For those that are too young or whatever, God, I feel old. Calvin ball comes from Calvin and Hobbes, where basically whenever they played Calvin ball, the rules were different every time, and they just made it up as they went along.
Yep. And that's a real issue, because like, if you want to do a narrative story or an improv story, there is absolutely a room for that. Like look at the Magnus Archives or
Wanderhome.
Oh God, what was the Wanderhome? Like, there are so many other like shows where like literally it is you telling a story, and you can do that. But like, if you want to do an improv story, maybe don't try to put it like you're doing an AP, because you're not doing an AP at that point. You're playing Calvin ball, like you so eloquently put it.
I come up with good lines. I work on this. It's almost like I'm trying to be a professional in the space. I got some ideas. But again, not every one of my ideas is going to be perfect for every person as well. That needs to also be said. Some people are looking for a game where it's very loosey-goosey because they just want to sit there and vibe. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just want to be clear. Everybody just needs to find the system in the game, in the video, or whatever that works for them.
Absolutely. And the, like, there's a lot of, discourse.
What'd you say, Becca?
I will say, oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, there's also like some systems that do lean more towards like the role playing side with a few dice. It's like you don't need. I think a lot of the problems that, like these APs, these hypothetical APs that we're talking about are having, is that they're trying to make D&D fit every single box, every single need that they have as a group.
What's that phrase? Like, if you try to be everything to everybody, you'll be nothing to know everyone.
You will be nothing.
Yeah.
That's that. Actually, Becca, you like Warhammer, right?
I like the Psychers.
Got it. Would you like to hear about this AP that's using D&D to play Warhammer?
Doesn't Warhammer already have its own thing?
Yeah.
It's not hard. I've played it.
Oh my God. That's a thing I have for other things where it's like, there's nothing wrong with trying to fill a niche that you don't have, but I love it when people are like, I did this thing because I wanted it, and it's like, but that's already in the game.
That already exists. Like, what are you doing?
I don't want to ruffle feathers of D&D, and the amount of times I've had people is like, I made rules for calling shots, or I made rules for sweep attacks, and it's like, it's already in the game. It's in the Dungeon Master's Guide. It exists.
It's
already.
there.
It's used what's there.
Yeah, and it's like and like, you're right, and I get that you're trying to be careful about not ruffling feathers.
Well, it's
but
also
like,
just my channel isn't about insulting people. There's already enough people out there being assholes to people that enjoy D&D. I personally don't want to use it anymore, but that doesn't mean I'm going to insult people who are generally just trying to enjoy their time. Life is hard enough as is. That said, I can comment on things I think is wrong with stuff. PTU is not perfect by any means. It's crunchy as fuck, and I will be first to think it. I think we all have to be willing to examine our games and be willing to see what might be a flaw. Though we also have to recognize sometimes what we might think is a flaw might be somebody else's benefit, or boom.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Sometimes you're going to look at a system and go, this is exactly what I want, even if that system was not made for what you are exactly doing. But if it works for what you want, well, then it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
You know?
But if you're also sitting there trying to shoehorn the same system into other things, it's like, I'm trying to run a detective game using Dungeons and Dragons.
Like, there are
mice and
there
murder.
are detective games.
It's so hard to run a mystery game.
And,
yeah. Kitty cat in the background.
Yep, that's Bean.
When I get loud, she comes.
I'm going to point out something. Is like, I'll talk about actual plays. I used to love watching Dimension 20. I've really fallen off on it lately just because every other season it's Dungeons and Dragons or some refurbished version. Kitty cat.
Oh, Bean.
It's either Dungeons and Dragons or some manipulated things of Kid on Bike, and except for like one thing they did with Shriek Week, but I don't think that one really counts. But just, did you really need to try to do wrestling in Dungeons and Dragons, or did you really need to do a murder mystery using Dungeons and Dragons? They actually commented like, well, everything in Dungeons and Dragons is aimed toward dealing damage, so everybody ended up a rogue just so they could have skills. I'm like, you couldn't have used like
use a different.
You could have used gumshoes. What's that one that's supposed to be like the old lady murder mystery one? I'm trying to remember the name right now.
You mean like Agatha Christie?
No, there's another one's called like, it's like Bayshore Mysteries. I'm trying to remember the name of it now. It's gonna bug me.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh Christ, hold on.
You know the one I'm talking about. Save me so I don't.
I do.
Look it up later.
Yeah, give me a second.
Slap the name on the screen.
I'm gonna slap the name here.
What is it?
I don't have my.
This is driving me up the wall now.
We're all gonna look it up now, guys. You're gonna have to suffer.
Brindlewood Bay.
But that's the one. Say it again for us.
Brindlewood Bay.
That's what that's another mystery-based game. It's like if they were trying to do a mystery game, there's Gumshoe. There's Bubble Gumshoe if they were trying to make it a little less stressful and dangerous. Brindlewood Bay. There are so many mystery games that are entirely based on telling a mystery, but you had to use D&D. But
yeah,
I think that just kind of goes down to you don't always need to use the exact same system for everything. But we're not going to go onto that tangent. I think this video is going to go long, but I'm okay with that. Are you guys okay with that?
Oopsies.
Hey guys, if you're my viewers, you're getting a long video today. Let's do it. I'm not going to worry. So on that note, we're going to pull away from this gorgeous drawing that Becca's drawing on the screen for us, and we're going to pop over to Becca's character sheet. So we've got some fun stuff for you. I made you a very witchy lass. So we gave you Type Ace Ghost, which will do some fun stuff for your Pokemon that we're going to switch over to in a second. As a Type Ace, one of the things you can take is a thing called Ghost Step. So, with Ghost Step as at-will free action, your Ghost Pokemon may activate this feature spending their shift action, which is basically just their movement, and they can just disappear off the field. They are effectively no longer on the map. They cannot be affected in any way, shape, or form. At the beginning of their next turn, they reappear on any square they could have feasibly gotten to with one of their movements. And it's just so delicious. This would also benefit you with your Astonish attack because they would not know where that Dreepy was coming from, at least in my opinion. So, Ghost Step, very fun. Basically, let your Pokemon completely be like, fuck that shit, I'm out. So that one's really cool. In addition, we gave you Mentor, which is a class that's just so much fun. So that one you had to take 2 different skills, and basically it lets you teach a bunch of different lessons. But one of the other things is it also lets you teach your Pokemon moves before they're supposed to know them. So the way it works is you, if they have a tutor point left, they can spend that tutor point to learn any move from its tutor list marked with an N. Basically, there's a list of moves, and some of them are marked and some of them aren't. Or any level up move it has that's at or below the combination of the 2 skills you took for the class. So feasibly, you can get skills that are like 12 levels above when they're supposed to have that move when you cap this class out.
Oh no.
It's like, oh, we're having a Pokemon battle? Dreepy, use Hyper Beam. Fucking what?
How does he do that?
Well, it'd be more like Draco Meteor or something, but this one was for the joke. But so that one's super fun. But another one that's actually really helpful for you guys is just trainers, especially as one starting out. I gave you the lessons. So the 2 things it does, there's one that's called Versatile Teachings, which lets you give a Pokemon a bunch of skills, which I'm about to put on your starter right now. And the other one is, if you do catch a Pokemon that has a nature that you don't like, for example, it boosts a stat that's useless to it or lowers a stat you really don't want it to, you can change the nature of that Pokemon as long as the nature is still at least attached to one of the points. So, for example, if it boosted attack and lowered defense, but you wanted it to have like a boosted special attack and lower defense, you can do that because you can swap the first stat. It's very useful for when you're trying to get a Pokemon effective. You're when everybody's like, hey, my Pokemon's really like grumpy and you want it to be jolly or something. Nature's is weird in Pokemon. So I'm going to mess with your starter in a second here. But while I'm messing with your starter, since we've been talking a lot of smack about a lot of systems, I think I want to focus on things that we like. So what do you think is something that if you were taking from the games you have played, what are things that you think you want to apply to the Valiant game, for example. Like, what we talked about its benefits. It obviously will probably have some weaknesses that you're not quite happy with. What things have you taken from other games you've liked and tried to adapt into making Valiant work for you guys as a streaming game?
Oh God. Everything I'm gonna say. Everything I say is just. Everything I say is just gonna bring us closer and closer to Pathfinder.
That's what I figured. You do that to D&D. I imagine you do the same to Valiant.
It's the honest thing is I just love having all that variety. Mm-hmm. So that's why Pathfinder is like my long lost love of a game. Because if you go onto the D20 PFSRD, like the website for Pathfinder 1E, that website is huge for options, feats, traits, class options, subclass options, archetypes. It's huge. And that's the stuff I really love. I love having all those options at my disposal, especially from a player perspective. If I was to play in a game, being able to like play with all those things, that would be my wish, would be to have that kind of variety. I mean, will I see it? Not for like 10 years, but still.
Well, Tales of the Valiant isn't like super new, if I remember, but it is going to take some time.
Yep.
It's the nature of having a game that's more recent. You need time for all the fun splat books and homebrew and all that fun stuff. But I think that's a benefit and less a detriment. I will say in one thing though, I think one of the things I do hope they don't do, and this is me probably going to get shot in the back alleyway by a bunch of TTRPG fans, I hope they don't do the overdone thing of making so many species, races, backgrounds where it's just like, you don't need 600 options.
Yeah.
I think it's to a detriment to it when it gets to that point where it's like, best you can do, give people enough variety where they can flavor things to be different. But we don't need 60 options. You really don't.
Exactly.
No. As much as I enjoy having 3 different kinds of furry characters and 3 different aliens, there comes a point where you don't need it.
Look, I love elves. There are too many elves in D&D.
There are far too many elves, and they're all basically the same thing.
They're all listed as different species, but they're all basically the same. It's like, man.
They all just get like, a different ability, which they could have just had.
Yeah, there was like wood, high,
drow, Eladrin,
Shadow Kai.
Oh, don't get me started on Shadow Kai. I got a full fucking side story on Shadow Kai.
Humans, but anyway.
I'm going to do a rant now. This is my show. I'm doing a rant.
I'm pissed.
I did a video about this. If you guys watch, I have a RPG horror story where I played in a game with a guy. It was the second time I played Curse of... If I had a nickel for every time I played in a Curse of Strahd game where somebody wanted to become Strahd, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice. And I've only played Curse of Strahd twice, so it's happened 100% of the time.
Ooh.
But in that game, I joined not knowing what the group dynamic was, but I'm like, it's Curse of Strahd. We're all going to be good guys. I'll make a good cleric. I come into that game, and apparently it was a post-Curse of Strahd game because they liked their Curse of Strahd game so much they wanted to keep going. And one guy was a paladin who became Strahd because of a mental break. One person was an evil lich who the GM let make as many simulacrum as they wanted with no spellcasting requirements. And the other 2 were neutral characters who were basically evil. But one of them was a Shadow Kai, and he specifically wanted Shadow Kai because he wanted all that like phasing jump step bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But he was one of those Munchkin players, and I don't know if you guys know the distinction between min-maxing and Munchkin.
I do.
But for the folks at home, min-maxing is basically making your stats as best you can get. Nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Power gaming, step further. You're fucking with the rules a bit, but you're still on the level. It's stuff that's in the books and how it works. Munchkins are intentionally trying to fuck with shit and either will lie, cheat, or steal to get stuff they don't have. And this guy was just a step before that. He was, I like to call it rules lawyer and rules attorney. This guy was rules lawyering all the way up. His favorite thing to do was to cast darkness on the thing he was fighting. But since he was part warlock, he could see in magical darkness, but none of us could. So he'd be sitting there sniping the guy we couldn't see, so nobody else could fight it. So I have a thing with Shadow Kai specifically because of that one player. What?
Team game, by the way.
Team game,
Yeah.
guys. But
Yeah.
no,
Get cooperative play.
I have a Shattered High hate boner because of that one character. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But no,
I don't blame you.
We're going to divert
so
from that
valid.
because that's not what we're about. But we're going to go back to Becca's character. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to tangent on you guys. Sometimes I just got to rant.
We're having fun.
Because
You're
obviously,
good.
guys, hatred is what fuels the algorithm.
And brother, I'm a hater.
Oh boy, I
Um,
feel that. So, we already talked about the cool stuff you got from your class. We didn't get to talk about your edges. So, you needed to take Elemental Connection to be the Ghost type base from the start. That's how the game works, unfortunately. But I did give you basic skill at Cult. You didn't need that yet for your. You did need that for your class, but you needed Charm and Intuition for Mentor, so we made that work. But I did give you some fun tricks as well. So I gave you Tag Scribe. Tag Scribe works by making it so that you can craft special tags that can prevent ghosts from passing through walls or being invisible around you. And at a certain point, you can also do. So I'm mixing up what they can do at certain points, but the more you level up, the more stuff they can do. One of the cool things is if you give it to a person or a Pokemon, you can also use it to punch a ghost. You basically, if you put a Tag Scribe on your hand and just punch a ghost in the face, it'll work.
Oh my god.
Well, because
That's
it makes it
great.
so that normal and fighting type moves can hit ghosts. And I just love that. It's so fun. And then the last thing I gave you is a thing called skill enhancement, where you get to pick 2 skills and you get to add a plus to your die rolls in them. So I gave that to you in Charm and Occult Ed. I figured you're very, let's be honest, you're a goth girl, you're charming. Everybody's like, ooh, girl.
The goth GF got the charm.
you got to have some charm on that goth GF. That said, though, there is going to be some skills that you're bad at. So I would like to know, what skills are you bad at?
Definitely bad at survival as well. She's a city girl. She hangs out on the beach. Gonna say she's bad at tech ed. I feel like she doesn't really need that.
Yeah, you have some other people for that. Honestly, I could totally see you getting like a Rotom or something. I think Rotom is Electric Ghost, right?
Yeah, and then the later Pokemon games, he's actually like merge it. They like mass produce Rotoms, I guess, and put
Apparently,
them
they're just in everything.
Pokedexes.
But yeah, I could totally see you just getting a Rotom so you didn't have to worry about using your phone anymore.
The only AI I will accept is
Well, the thing is not AI. It's a Rotom. It's an actual sentient thing.
He's not AI. He is PI.
And then what's the last thing you want to be bad at?
Probably athletics. She's
That's what you have him
the
for.
beach part of. Yeah, I'm the beach part of the beach bum. Like, I'm sitting on my beach chair with an umbrella and a book. I don't need to move.
I mean, that works. So with that, we've gotten all your stuff done. That's your positives, your negatives. We just need to do 2 more things with you. Align your stats and give your trainer a name. So where do you want to put your stats?
Definitely speed.
Speed. I hate saying max out speed.
Yeah.
I feel like the min-maxer player with PTU, but I'm always like, speed's really good. Just speed. Speed's so important.
Speed me up, Scotty.
Speed me up, Scotty. So, if you were ever to play this character, I would recommend that you would eventually try to get Hex Maniac, which lets them use spells, basically, which would use your special attack. But you're not there yet,
Okay.
so HP is always a good thing to have.
Yeah, we can put some in HP and maybe like. I'm not usually a defense girly, but maybe we could put a few points in special defense since.
To bolster your mind, I'll put 2 in HP.
Especially if I'm like.
And 3 in special defense, I think. Because honestly, if you're going after Ghost, most of them are going to be going after your mind. You gotta steal Vice Mind.
Yeah, and if my character, like the trainer herself, is going to be more backline, I feel like she needs to not fall over.
That would be important. And now the most important part. What is your ghost girly goth girl name?
I'm going to take a leaf out of Connor's book, and she's going to be Goth GF Becca.
Goth GF Becca. Goth girlfriend
Not to position
Becca.
myself as the the like not her own character, but also that's really funny to have the title free. So
the funny thing is, like, this is your actual character name, so your parents named you Goth, and I think GF is just like your nickname. So your name is Goth Becca.
Well, we gotta stay in the Pokemon naming convention.
Yeah, like
all the kids are what, like Picnicker or Lad or Lass.
Oh,
I'm
to be clear, I am not complaining on this one in the slightest. I think that's hilarious, and I'm here for it.
You get caught in a double battle. You're on the beach, and you make eye contact with two people who are like just chilling, and they go bling, and the screen comes up.
You locked eyes with us now.
And it's Beach Bum Connor and Goth GF Becca want to battle.
Now that I'm back on the screen for the recording, I have to say it's just giving me the vibe of that meme where it's like the cougar couple. It's like, me and my wife saw you from across the bar, and we liked your vibe.
We loved your vibe.
But first, we met the Pokemon battle.
Cougar couple would like to battle.
Cougar couple would like to battle. Oh my god.
Neither of us are anywhere close to that age, but
if
still
we were doing
hilarious
this in an
image.
actual play, that would have to be the episode name. It's just Cougar Couple Battle.
Cougar couple would like.
Oh god. And with that, we're actually now gonna have like the actual thing is now fully done up on the thing. I love how you made the Vulpix just chilling in like a traditional cooler, just like vibing.
Yeah.
Miller's there keeping the actual sodas and stuff good.
Yeah.
I feel like call me out on this one. I don't think you named it Miller. I think all your friends named it Miller, and you just acquiesced because it was.
And I just went with it. Yep.
Like, what should we name this?
Like, this Vulpix started responding to Miller, and you're like, whatever.
It reminds me like how the Who got their name, the band. Did you ever hear that story?
I don't know the whole story.
So essentially, the Who, they like put a bunch of names in a bowl or a hat, whatever thing they did, and they were just pulling it out and like saying them to each other to see what they thought, and they kept going the Who, like, and eventually that's the name they took. At least that's the story.
That's what stuck.
I also just love that, like, the goth chick has got all like it's not taffeta, but whatever that material is.
It's like a sheer cloth. Yeah,
enough sheer cloth to be like, I got coverage, but I'm still getting a breeze because it's the fucking beach.
Oh yeah.
I also love the planchette. That's such a nice touch.
Yeah.
So I know we're running a little bit long here, but I don't think I gave you guys enough time to rep your stuff, and hopefully folks will stick around because I want to hear more. But so you have one campaign that's still ongoing currently, and I think you mentioned that you're trying to get another one off the ground, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I am working on a lot of the background stuff for making the main setting for that, and that is I have given myself a monstrous amount of work. And
I feel
while that sounds like a bad thing, it is in my nature to just keep doing stuff like that, even though it's probably not a good idea. I'll drop an image or two of the city districts I'm currently working on, and I'll show you a finished one and a partially finished one and the next one I need to do. So you can understand what I am looking at, and you need to bear in mind there are like 10 of these. I've only done this many.
I can feel it. I might be bugging you and some other people I know that does help. I can't say too much, but I'm hoping that this video, by the time it gets released, is going to be close enough that I won't get in trouble. But I'm working on a project with a group right now, and I'm struggling with the pitch document because it's like, I've never written a pitch document before. So it's like, how do you fucking write one? But it's also like, I need to get a map so I can get the concept off the ground. It's like, shit, how much detail is too much detail at the first stage of production? Because that's the thing a lot of people don't realize in actual plays. As much as I talk about how actual plays play a lot different than games, people don't really understand that. But actual plays have so much that happens before you're able to put it on screen, just logistics-wise. And I'm pretty sure you guys have contended with that as well. Because like, with a home game, you don't have to worry too much about, like, if you make a mistake, you can just say you changed it. It doesn't work with an actual play. You got an audience. Nope. There's got to be continuity. So it's like, it's got to be pretty much set before you even start rolling. Rolling for both things, actually, camera and dice. But no, so is there anything you can tell us about that upcoming game that you want to like get people's whiskers wet on, or is it all hush?
Oh no, I'll be willing to say a little bit here. And honestly, if my players listen to this will probably be one of the first things that they've gotten to hear about it.
Well, in that case, spoilers. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the entire setting is going to be taking place on a flying island that they recovered back in campaign 1. So it's a little bit of a throwback.
The Skyland.
The Skyland.
Yeah, a Skyland.
Skyland.
And the idea is that this group is basically getting hired on as the local authorities or part of the local authorities for this city.
Are you guys becoming the cops?
Effectively,
Kind of
and
like
The steam just went down a little bit. Just down a little bit.
Oh no. Don't you worry. And the entire point and theme about this entire campaign is going to be talking about the abuse of authority, how power corrupts, and how there is an inherent problem with giving the men who are acting as your cops heavily armed weapons and making them dangerous.
Okay.
And that is the entire
I'm on
point.
now. I'm attached now. You have my interest.
Yep.
As much as I'm
Trust me. ACAB, I get it.
I'm currently struggling with like,
The whole
okay.
campaign is gonna turn out to be ACAB like this.
I'm currently struggling with the concept of if I build a Pokemon game, there's like a couple 100,000 people with pretty dangerous things walking around. How do you instill responsibility from a young age so that doesn't become a problem? Because I want the cops and the Poke Rangers because Officer Jenny exists, Poke Rangers exist, but I also need to make it so that
rangers are like park rangers or like
they're more like
control.
conservationists. I tend to think of them as like the guys from Africa and such that like go into the wilderness and prevent people from poaching and
National
being
Park
douchebags.
Rangers. Yeah.
Basically, respect our national parks. I respect them more than
Absolutely.
cops. But it's struggling with things like I need to have them in the setting because it's part of the setting, but it's also how do I make them still realistic without destroying the fantasy of a slightly utopic world where people wouldn't abuse Pokemon too much. Does that make sense?
Yeah, a nice place where it's not going to be a huge issue. I have some ideas on how you could do that.
There's still problems because there's not a utopia, but it also has to be a little bit like, hey, a little kid running around with a rat that can bite through steel isn't going to be doing crime because they were raised right. But it's also like being careful because that's a lot of messaging interruptions there.
Yeah.
It's one of those problems where like I hate when people do the whole it's dog fighting thing. It's like I get it, but at the same time it's not. Like we're not having this fight.
It's very clearly not dogfighting because if it was, these things would be dead.
Yeah.
It's like it's not how it works.
It is not.
And you know what? Messaging is a very important thing that especially APs need to stop and think about. Because if I just made this party the good guys, that makes it very clear propaganda.
Exactly.
And the problem is that I need to make a world where there is still an incentive for them to be something beyond what they already are. And there has to be a problem. And to be honest, there's a lot of problems with authority.
There is.
And it's a perfect system to use.
It honestly comes down to like, I know a lot of people want to approach things from a surface level, and I'm not going to disagree with that. Not every game needs to have a deeper machination. Sometimes you just want to have fun beating stuff up and getting treasure, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think that we still do need to examine at some point some of the stuff that we're kind of viewing as natural. I'm not the person that's going to be appropriate to dig into these subjects. There are people that are going to be much more experienced, and I would advise you to check them out. Omnitact and a couple other people I talk with over on Blue Sky are going to be far more well-versed into things of public health and safety. But like, hey, maybe we should look into why some of the things that we have as like evil or, small, big-nosed, dumb.
Yeah.
There's some things that we need to examine.
All those little traits. Yeah.
We need to examine and unpack.
It's important to think about. And like,
You gotta step back and look at the patterns sometimes.
And the thing is,
Absolutely.
I'm not saying you shouldn't have things that are bad that you need to beat up, but you need to examine why they're bad. If they're bad just because they're inherently evil, that's wrong. But if they're bad because they've been mistreated throughout their lives and now have to adapt to a situation in which case they have to go to extremes to survive, that's different. Better. They're still bad, but also there's a reason they're bad beyond God said bad.
Yeah. And actually, like I'll I'll pull back the curtain on myself for a little bit. In my earlier life, I actually was aiming to pursue a degree in criminal psychology. So that's why crime stories are so significant to me, because you can't learn about criminal psychology without going, oh, this is all
because of the system.
Society. This is largely societal, and most of these people are in this position because of how they were treated.
Exactly.
So I will never avoid that topic in my stories because it's important. You got to understand it.
It is. And I think a lot of people think that us woke people talk about these things because we're trying to say we're better than you. It's like, no, we've experienced these things. We're trying to vocalize the struggles we've been through. To go back to that discussion we were having about AI generations and how we actually make things because we've experienced it, we want to express ourselves. We talk about these things in games, honestly, because we need a little bit of therapy, and this is how we decompress from the bullshit we've been through. I know it's very weird coming from a cis white male in a position that's well off enough, but we've all gone through some shit. I know there's plenty of people I've played with who have been well off or well worse than I have, who also needs to get through some shit. Sometimes you throw some fucked up evil thing in front of them so they can beat the shit out of it and feel better. But also sometimes you have to get a guy at the table who wants to play a character and be like, oh, that's not Bean, that's somebody new.
That's Rave.
That's Rave. So we have Rave and Beans.
Rave and Bean.
Rave and Bean. But to get back, I think sometimes you want to run a game, and we're going to skip over the topics of like session 0 and consent and all that. Just we're going to leave that for a later thing, but just to get to the core of it is just sometimes you need to put games and subjects in front of people so they have a different point of view to learn from. We all get stuck into subjects about how lost my train of thought there. Sorry. We all get stuck into subjects about how people are trying to push a narrative or educate or disinform. And it's like, sometimes you just need to put things in front of people for them to learn in their own way.
Yep.
There was somebody recently oops, sorry. Continue.
I was going to say, sometimes the purpose of an art is to consume said art. You don't necessarily need to agree with it or believe it. You just need to consume it and acknowledge it.
Well, yeah, it's like not quite on the same subject. I play a lot of games just system-wise that I don't enjoy, so I can learn what I don't enjoy about them. I currently am not a big Blades in the Dark fan. I bounce off it. It doesn't work for me. I find it a bit annoying. The book itself isn't written in a way that I find enjoyable to read or use, but we're not doing that right now. But it's also just sometimes you need to be like, okay, that's a point of view that I don't agree with, but I can understand why somebody might. I think in a funny, ironic twist, understanding why people might want to agree with a fascist government leader could help you understand why they did it. I feel like there's a lot of people that are currently just struggling and unhappy, and they don't realize that the reason they're struggling and unhappy is because the people that they voted for are the same people oppressing them, but they don't know it. So
it's there you can gain so much just from learning and understanding other people, other systems, other stories.
Absolutely.
Never stop learning in this life. Never stop learning.
Sorry, Becca, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I apologize. But there's a person I've been talking with online, and I'm gonna look up their name just because I want to say their name again. I've spoken about them a few times. I want to get it right. Well, I've enjoyed our conversations, and they're Canadian, so we've discussed a few things, and I want to make sure I don't fuck up their name. Nat the Mouse. Calling you out again, Nat the Mouse. Thank you so much for talking with me. But we were talking just recently again about, I think I mentioned in a previous video, but it's worth saying twice, appropriation of cultural gods, deities, and mythologies, and how sometimes you need to be really careful about the things you try to use in games, because while it may be a cool monster, it's also still attached to somebody's god or religion or history.
Yeah.
I've heard so many people of like Native American faith or not Native American origins being like, please stop calling them Wendigos. Please stop calling them Wendigos.
They're just forest. Like, you're not even doing the Wendigo myth. It's fucking forest spirit. You know?
What was that game? Like the last, not The Last of Us, but there was a video game where it's like, it's a survival
Until
game.
Dawn.
Until Dawn. It's like, hey guys, don't use Wendigo. That's inappropriate because it's.
I mean,
it's and here's the thing. It absolutely is
closest to actual Wendigo myth.
It is
and
closest,
the-
but it's also like,
culture.
It's still
But yeah.
it's still pretty appropriate, but like,
Oh yeah.
God, at least they got the depiction right. Like
that's what I'm saying.
you've seen
At
the
least they didn't slap
you've seen the
antlers
guy
on
in
it.
horns with the fucking deer skull. That's
Yeah, but
you're not even getting it right.
I'm not getting into that one again. I'm not well enough versed into it. Like, one I can point out, and this one's kind of funny, the American Girl doll line. This was one that I actually can speak of, just because they did actually do a Native American doll, and
Mhm.
they actually spoke for months with Native American Native American people and their outreach to get it appropriate. They actually specifically, this is one of the few times that they designed their doll differently, where its front two teeth wasn't showing, because in their culture, showing teeth and a smile is actually an offense, and that's we're getting a bit off of like using monsters in games,
you can
but
do it well. Is the point?
You can take in culture and learn from them, and it's also just showing from the culture appropriately. I think one of my frustrations sometimes is like, you can take inspiration from a thing, but when it's just, here's literally Anubis, or here's literally Thor, and it's like, hey man, if I dropped literal Jehovah God in front of you and said, kick its ass, a lot of people would be upset.
Here's the final boss for our campaign, Jesus H. Christ.
There was literally a fighting
Like,
game
you see
that
the problem now, don't you?
like, there was literally a game that did actually have a fighting game that had Jesus Christ in there, and like he literally had like the board still nailed to his arms.
Oh God.
I'm tempted to put a gif of it right here. I'll see if I'm ballsy enough to do it. But it's just one of those things where it's like, even if the culture is no longer still actively worshiping him, there's still a thing of like, be aware of appropriation. I don't know how we got to this description. I feel like we went off on a tangent, but I think it was a good tangent to go off on. But
We did, but you know what? It's fine.
As storytellers and artists, like, cultural appropriation is something that we have to keep in mind.
We have to be mindful of it. Yeah.
Regardless.
There's such thing as appropriate adaptation and inference. Like, I made a long horse based enemy in one of my games, but I tried to differentiate it from it. It was based off of SCP or something like that. It's either SCP or Heroes. I think it was Heroes, the show.
It is an artist who created the long horse idea first and foremost. I cannot recall his name off the top of my head.
I think he did it for Heroes or SCP. I cannot remember. I have to double check it. But either way, I based something on that. But it's also, I have to be mindful of where I take inspiration from. But we're getting off topic on that one. Hopefully people haven't clicked off by now. They might have clicked off a while ago, but I'm hoping they didn't. But I think I'll end this little side tangent just on, it's also, you have to be aware if you're mad at somebody for what they're saying, and if it's because what they're saying is right, or if you're mad at them because what they're saying is wrong, or if it's uncomfortable.
It's always
recently got put onto an anti-Semite list because apparently me having a Palestinian flag in my username means I'm an anti-Semite, which is not the case. I'm friends with a couple of different people of Jewish faith, and it's just like, you can be an anti-Zionist but still support Jewish people.
If you're against imperialism and genocide, that means you hate Jews.
All I'm going to say is that the fact that people are getting mad at Miss Rachel, probably one of the most, I think she's probably got the most like close attachment we could have to Mr. Rogers right now.
Pretty damn close.
It's pretty damn close, I would say. If you're mad at Miss Rachel, that's like being mad at Mr. Rogers, and I just can't see that happening in good faith. But I'm already nervous enough that this past 5 minutes is going to get this video demonetized and or blocked off the internet. We'll see what happens. But anyways,
that's what editing's for.
I think I'm going to leave it in. I'm going to leave it in because
fair enough.
If this video gets demonetized, you guys were here, and then you can tell everybody I get demonetized
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Oh my God, absolutely.
Yeah, I can't say that I have morals if I don't actually speak them vocally, and it's not like I'm being mean about it. It's just a truth. People should not be killing people.
Yeah, we're well beyond the point of trying to wipe out a group of people.
Yeah.
But on that note, I'm not shifting it because I'm nervous about it. I'm shifting it because we are currently at roughly an hour 24, and I want to make sure you guys have enough time to stuff.
Yeah, we're hungry.
So we're going to shift this just to give you guys a little bit more time to talk. So obviously those were ideas about your Skyland and talking about authority figures for your upcoming game. Is there anything you want to talk about the game you're currently running now before we close this out?
We're gonna fight a god.
Oh, we were just talking about fighting gods and appropriation. Oh God.
It is a god we made up.
Okay,
It's
that's
one.
better.
It's
That's
one
better.
I've created wholesale. Don't you worry.
Cool.
Yeah.
To be ironic, it's like, okay, guys, now stop appropriating gods. By the way, we're fighting Thor. It's,
By the way, we're gonna kill
By
God.
the way, we're gonna kill God, like the god. Abrahamic religion. No,
No,
no.
uh,
It was a.
it is a.
Again.
It is a deity of my own creation, the god of ambition, who is so far. I always try to put a lot of effort into the villains to make them hateable and relatable in their own ways.
I don't know
But
why,
boy,
but
they
the
really
first
hate
thing
this
that
one.
comes to my mind is that thing that Brennan Lee Mulligan made for like the second year of Unsleeping City.
Oh,
Like the dude, you know who I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The American Dream.
Fuck.
He tried to codify the American Dream or whatever it was,
Yeah, he wanted to bring about the American dream.
which means as soon as it became a set thing, it would no longer be shifting. We're not getting into that, but yeah, you're looking it up now, aren't you?
I absolutely am.
It is still one of those. Unsleeping City is probably one of my favorite ones from that series.
I still haven't.
Just because it's still good. I didn't mean to ruin it for you, but I still have love in my heart for Unsleeping City and all those things. It's just at the moment I'm just so tired of D&D, and I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And I was only paying for
Robert Moses, by the way.
Robert Moses, that asshole. The guy that specifically made it so the buses can't go past underpasses so that people from lower income parts of the city could not get to the beach. Fuck that asshole.
Yeah.
This channel fucking hates Robert Moses. Canon. Just saying.
Fuck that dude.
Fuck that guy. Fuck Robert Moses. Fuck anti-Semites. Fuck fascists. These fists are rated E for everybody. That's all I'm saying. What's that phrase? Act bash, lose cash.
Something like that.
Something like that. But yeah, so I don't want us to. We keep going on tangents. This is why I have so much
We
fun
do.
doing. I have so much fun doing this show, but I also go on
an hour
tangents.
and a half long video.
I'm just hoping people actually watch it. If you've made it this far, please subscribe, follow me, check out Dicefunctional and their stuff. All that stuff is going to be in the description down below with links and all that fun stuff. I'm desperate for attention and I will die without it. Please subscribe and follow me. I need it. I'm so close to 1,000 guys. Like I just need like 300 more. Please do it for me. On that note, though, I'm not closing out just yet because I want to give you just a smidge more time to talk about your show. But let's try to work on it. I'm going to stop myself from tangenting. I think it's my fault.
Nah, you're good, dude.
I'm giving you that hectic, neurotic energy of just zoop, zoop, and so
No, I'm fine with it. I thrive off shit like that.
I do too, but I do know that if videos get too long, people click off.
It's true.
They see a 2 hour
basically,
long video and be
campaign
like,
2.
My bad.
Oh, you're okay. Campaign 2 is on its way out and is starting to wrap up. The party is trying to go for one last set of power-ups for each of their characters so that they can be just a little bit more ready to fight a literal god.
Did you go Final Fantasy VII on their weapons?
No, not on their weapons. Many of them are upgrading themselves in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
The warlock who has a pact with a dragon deity has had some pieces of that god implemented into themselves to slowly make them more draconic.
So he's going a different way of the usual bard energy, but not the way the dragon usually enters.
Not in the way the dragon usually enters now.
No.
But they're doing a little bit of power up fights and encounters and quests, we'll say, and then they're gonna have to take on a god.
God willing, they'll beat that god.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with that, I think the last question I really want to ask is there anything that you think that they are going to be surprised about when that fight happens? I don't know how far off the fight is from this actual recording day.
Thank you, Becca.
Do you want me to?
No,
Do you
no,
want to
you're
take
good.
your headphones off? Don't want to learn some secrets. I'll put it this way. GM to GM, I think when it comes to boss fights, especially in systems like that, you kind of end up having to put in some gimmicks. Just because if it's sheerly HP versus HP, it's a numbers game. It'll end quickly. Do you have any recommendations, or I don't even want to say recommendations. I'm trying to avoid it now because it's going to be spoilers from Becca. But do you have
say like
I'm so willing to say this because I've done this before.
Go for it.
They know. First and foremost, take a good long look at Final Fantasy XIV and the AoE markers that they use in boss fights on maps.
Yep.
That shit is excellent for making your character, the player characters, change up their movement. All you need to do is you make a radius or a checker pattern or what have you.
It's the setup
and
attack.
You say, yeah, exactly. It's a setup attack. You say, okay, this is here at the top of the round. If you're still there by the beginning of the next round, you're getting hit.
And I tend to call it the telegraph attack because the setup attack sounds a little bit less interesting. But for those that are playing in TTRPGs, telegraph attacks are great, especially if you have multiple initiatives for an enemy boss, because it basically means that it does one of the most important things that I think you can do in any TTRPG that's map-based or structure-based, making the battlefield important. Because if you just say, here's the boss, attack it, they're going to do what everybody does. They'll surround and conquer. So make the battlefield...
They're just going to pummel it.
Just pummel it.
You know.
It's why I tend to, when I did play D&D, I avoided flanking because all it did was make it so that anybody that was melee did that, and anybody that was a ranged attacker stood at the same spot and plunked away.
Yep. And that leads me to my second point, because you just brought it up. Map. Pay very close attention to your map. Make the terrain varied. Give them reasons to move around and jump and fly, because then they're going to move, and then they have to pay attention to when they move. It's super, super important.
You should share that video I did about map and terrain and using it to your advantage then, because this is all stuff I went over. Because
it's
a big problem with people in general. They don't think to change their maps. They just
it's a very big problem. Yeah, you have the grid. You go, okay, grid, but
I make a square. There's a table here and a chair, and it's cool. There's nothing to avoid, no interaction, no pillars to stand behind, nothing that would get in the way for them or benefit them. Cover. Use cover.
Cover.
Oh
my god. Pillars, walls, holes in the ground. A hole in the ground is cover just the same.
Oh, trust me. Side tangent. If you really want to fuck with your players, have your boss jump in a hole. Make it a multi-story building. I did that once to players. They broke the floor. And then they're like, wait, we can do that? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, of course you can.
Of course you can. It depends on how much damage you're able to deal, but this was an already broken floor. He just laid into it and went through a broken floor.
You could do that.
Yeah. Simple as that. You need to show the players these options are available.
Yeah. For context, it was a damaged building that had already been burned. It was already burned before, so the floor was already weak. So that means I gave it much less AP. I didn't make them have to roll to hit it. It's a floor. But it was a damage base of how much damage you can deal to break it. He said, fuck this shit, I'm out. Punched the floor, dipped. And they're like,
down he went.
You can do that? I'm like, he took falling damage, but yeah, you can do that.
Yeah. And that'll lead me to my last point. If you're doing a big boss fight, odds are you are probably going to want to have mobs.
Yeah.
You need ads. You need the minions.
On the same thing.
Because if you don't have those, you need to have your boss have multiple turns.
Yeah. So the same thing I mentioned earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you don't have that,
JoJo gets the guy sipping wine, and then he joins in, and they're all like,
yeah.
Because if you don't, it's just going to come down to action economy, and we all know how action economy goes.
And the boss will lose because he has one move against 4 or 7 or 10 or however many they have.
And then it just becomes HP sponge and avoidance, and that's not as fun.
No. So yeah, you should have minions or ads or whatever you want to call them. Hell, take a tip from Pathfinder. Make one-hit enemies. It's my favorite trick.
I tend to call those bubbles.
Yeah, bubbles. You call them bubbles. I call them minions because that's what Pathfinder called them.
Because literally all it takes is pop.
Yep, you just gotta hit them. That's it. But if you don't hit them, they're gonna lay into you and they're gonna hurt you.
They are. I think you would really love PTU because that's exactly what they do for the bosses in this game. They get initiatives at every 10 for the initiative. That way it's you have 4 Pokemon on the field, it gets 4 initiatives.
Yep.
It really helps mix things up. It still keeps them to the at-will every other turn and stuff for moves, but it means that you can't just sit there and plonk away and summon more Pokemon. And it's you can't gang up on it. If you put too much stuff out, it just goes faster.
Yep. Simple as that.
Simple as that.
So, but those will be my 3 big tips. And honestly, I have a feeling that Rainier's already said those.
I have,
like in his own video.
I have,
but like, it's
Can't
from
say it too much.
well, you can't say it too much, and also
it's reinforcing that means that it's good advice.
It absolutely is. I have scarily enough had to stop and realize I have been GMing for 10 years now, which scares me. But it turns out, yes, I have, which means I'm basically a veteran GM.
How old are
I
you?
know how this works. I am 27, nearly 28.
God.
I've been doing this since I was a teenager.
I'm 34. Oh,
Sorry,
God.
brother.
I was sitting there like, shit, how much experience did the both of us have? I was like, oh shit, I have more. Fuck, I'm old.
Yeah, you
I'm
do
old.
have more. Granted, I also look old, so like I look
beard.
older than I actually. It's the beard. It's the beard.
Becca's over here looking like she's just a lovely debonair 21-year-old that still gets carded.
She's older than me.
I'm 31.
So you can go ahead and slap him next chance you get, because you don't tell a lady's age.
I didn't say it. She said it.
Oh, here we go.
No, I'm kidding.
But no, it goes to show that the advice I've been saying on my show, and please go watch my old video, guys, they're still worth it, trust me. But it goes to show that it's backed and reputed by other GMs because they agree with me. It works.
It's smart advice. It's as simple as that. It's really
And the
smart
thing is,
advice.
it's applicable to so many different game systems as well, because it's not just D&D and Pathfinder and Dragonbane and Savage Worlds and all that. It applies to so many games.
Mhm.
If you have anything that is map-based and has some form of damage-taking system, these are things that you can take in and use in advance. Because, let's be honest, even if you weren't fighting in a game where it's map-based or damage-based, you still might want to include obstructions, going through walls, going through floors, flipping a table. Yep. This is all stuff people forget that they can do because they're so used to video game mechanics. They're so used to being the land is structurally set and they're not used to it. That said, please, I'm sorry to interrupt you. That said, please remember to be mindful of the things that are physically possible for your character. Don't try to make your wimpy sorcerer try to throw down a tower wall. Be mindful of what you can actually pull off when you do these things. But
yeah, you brought up mostly fighting games. You could do it in Call of Cthulhu, where you really shouldn't be fighting enemies.
Well, the thing
you
is,
could basically make it a puzzle encounter.
Well, the thing is,
there you go.
They also have cultists in Call of Cthulhu. I've punched.
They do also have cultists.
I've punched more than one cultist in Call of Cthulhu. So
yeah,
the thing is, if you're already punching a cultist, you're probably too close to the thing that you shouldn't be looking at, anyways. Though
you're already in a bad spot. It's just meant to show you can do this. You can use this wherever. It's an extremely useful tip and tool to have in your repertoire.
I think it's just a lot of folks get stuck, and this is probably the last thing I'll say before we sign off. I think so many people that play TTRPGs get stuck in video game logic or just box logic of just okay, person chases after person. It's just two things smashing against each other. And it's no, it's a dance. There are things, there's walls, there's places you can be. As much as we talk about how TTRPGs are an endless universe that we can create anything in, we tend to only typically create square rooms leading into other square rooms where we throw things at each other from a middle distance.
Yeah, basically.
What's that joke is hey, here's a speed build I built. It's cool, the map is never going to be bigger than 24 squares. Why did you do this?
Right.
That's great. You can move 100 feet in around. What are you going to do with that, bud?
That's 3 times bigger than anything we'll ever have. It's great to think about. As a guy that loves theory crafting, I fully commend it. It's I love testing what a system can pull off. It'll never be useful.
Nope.
I can shoot to do a DD. I can shoot an Eldritch Blast 300 feet away. Cool. We're never going to need that.
Yeah. Cool. Your maps are probably at most going to be 500. So
I have one giant battle map, and I'll have to send you guys a picture of this thing that I got because I found it in the dumpster, and it is almost longer than this room is. I will never use that map.
Jesus Christ.
It's massive.
Find an excuse to use it.
It was for the game shop, and it got thrown out because we never used it because we stopped running games in the back and we were cleaning things out. And I was I could use this for one thing, and that's a massive army fight, which I will never get to run until I have a giant house of my own. You know what? I'm going to try to take a picture of that, and I'm going to put it right here so you guys can see this giant map that I will never get to use. If you watch the video, you'll see it. But I want to run those giant fights, but you're not really going to do them because it's just not going to happen.
Nope.
But it would be cool. On that note, though, we are roughly at an hour 40 minutes here, so I think
Sign off.
we're going to sign off. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask Becca and Connor to go ahead and just like shout themselves out, where we can find them. We're going to have all that relevant information down in the description down below for you guys. Please check out their channel, check out their videos. They're fun groups. They're nice. They hang out with me. They say nice things about me, which I appreciate. And they're just chill. So go ahead and talk about that, guys.
Well, I'll start off just because I don't have as much to promote. You will almost always catch me as Dicefunctional on Blue Sky. That is where I do a majority of my yapping. I technically have a personal account. I don't use it, so you'll catch me as Dicefunctional. You don't want to watch us stream. We stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays over on Dicefunctional over on Twitch, or if I'm in charge of the stream, on YouTube, where we are also there as Dicefunctional. But with that said, Becca?
Yep. I'm sometimes on the Dicefunctional Twitter. Blue Sky.
Wrong.
Whoops.
Fuck Twitter. Oops. But my personal URL that is found everywhere is Dragon Astra. So if you see that, that's me. Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, like, do you want to commission? I do commissions.
We'll have the link for if you want to do commissions for them down below as well.
I don't know. I'm just like, I'm here for a Dicefunctional.
I love how everybody's like, we're in for the interview, and then when it comes to like actually promoting their stuff at the end, it's like, oh shit, I have to do that.
Well, Connor took everything I was gonna say.
Well, I said the Dicefunctional stuff because that's the shit I handle.
We are Dicefunctional.
Yeah, but you make art.
We are Legion. But no, so I'll have that shared down below and the stuff. Check out their shows. I think they're pretty cool. I think you guys would enjoy it. If you can, also check out my channel if you've enjoyed this so far, because you're a Dicefunctional fan. Please subscribe. I do fun stuff, I promise. Please subscribe. I'm desperate. It'll really help me out. On that note, we're going to sit here and wave to the camera as we say goodbye to people that are not actually here with us, but will be watching in the future. So till then, bye.
Bye.
Future people.